Ukraine has recently unveiled a new infantry fighting vehicle called Babylon, developed by Arey engineering group, which shares some of the design choices with Russian Armata, and by Armata I mean the platform, not the T-14. Also, keep in mind that Arey used to be Azov engineering group. The vehicle might be intended for export, specifically to some NATO countries, but we will get to that later. But that is not the only Armata-like vehicle to come from Ukraine in recent history. There has been one that might be even more similar to the Russian Armata. Babylon is built on a chassis of the T-64 tank, which is not the best idea, but I guess they don't have any other choice, since their recent tank development has shown that they are practically only capable of upgrading or modifying existing designs, which is in no way wrong. Many countries are still doing that. But the good thing is that it doesn't share much with the T-64. In fact, it's a completely different design. The crew of 3 is situated next to each other in a capsule, which in this case is behind the engine compartment, since the vehicle has the engine in front in order to be able to transport troops in the back, with enough room for 8 soldiers. The actual armor and the explosive reactive armor used are not disclosed, but the ERA could very likely be the Ukrainian Noj, but could also very well not be. The official sources state the protection to be at least Stanag level 6, which is a level of Stanag 4569 agreement mostly used for lightly armored vehicles. But this vehicle is not so lightly armored. According to the sources, it was tested against and successfully stopped 30mm APF SDS at 200 meters and both 125mm heat and 125mm APF SDS at 500 meters. The exact projectiles used to test the armor are not disclosed, but considering that Ukraine's best 125mm APF SDS is 3BM42 Mango, it could have been tested against it. If it was, an infantry fighting vehicle stopping that kind of firepower is pretty amazing. But it could have also been tested against some older projectile like 3BM22, in which case it would be pretty mediocre. We don't know if it is even able to stop tandem-shaped heat charges, which are now the most common type. If not, its protection is very lacking. Now, the weird thing about all of this is that the official sources always list NATO's Stanag level of protection, which might indicate that the vehicle could be intended as export to even some NATO countries, and countries like Poland and Czech Republic and some other might be interested, since the vehicle uses 2A42 30mm autocannon, which is used on BMP-2 that a lot of countries either still operate or have operated in recent history. I don't know, it seems strange to give Stanag levels and then proceed to describe the exact threats the vehicle was actually able to stop. It should also be noted that the hull of the vehicle is decently covered with explosive reactive armor, while there are no ERA plates on the turret. This appears to be a similar approach to Armata, because both T-14 and T-15 lack extra protection on the turret since there is not much to protect. If you want to find out why that's not such a bad idea, check out my video where I covered that more in depth. The vehicle is also equipped with laser warning receivers. As previously mentioned, the vehicle is armed with a 2A42 30mm autocannon, which is an old autocannon, but it's still okay, nothing special about it. It has a coaxial 762 PKT machine gun and the NSVT 12.7mm remotely operated heavy machine gun. It also has a UAG-40 automatic grenade launcher and can have a barrier ATGM which has 800mm penetration after ERA, which means it's a tandem-shaped missile. All of the armament is located in an unmanned turret. The fire control system includes commander's independent panoramic sight with integrated thermals, and the main gun sight with thermals as well as the automatic target tracking ability. The actual capabilities of thermals are not disclosed, but the fire control system appears to be pretty decent. The best thing is that it no longer uses T-64's underperforming 700 horsepower opposed piston engine. Instead, it uses a diesel engine with a hybrid electric drivetrain, which apparently produces 1080 horsepower in total, and according to the source, the hybrid drive reduces the thermal signature of the vehicle, and since the vehicle weighs 36 tons, its mobility is decent. They also state that the base chassis of the Babylon can be replaced with the chassis of 2S3 Akatsiya, 2S1 Gwozdika, Shilka, and Tunguska. And I honestly don't know how is that exactly supposed to function, but the customer has that option. This is not the first Armata-like vehicle from Arey. No, in fact, there has been an attempt of fully developing and launching into production an MBT which was supposed to be built on both T-64 and T-72 chassis, and it was called TRX, or is called, because the project apparently never got cancelled. Anyway, the design of the vehicle was apparently completed, since the patent of the vehicle has been published. Here we can see that this vehicle in question clearly uses T-64 as the basis, which is evident by the carousel under the turret and the road wheels. The height of the hull has been increased in order to accommodate the 3-man crew in the hull, which would be positioned in a so-called capsule like on T-14 Armata. The vehicle would be equipped with either duplet or notch, or the combination of both, to increase the protection. The vehicle was supposed to have improved optics and improved mobility. And it was claimed to be revolutionary design, since the vehicles can be upgraded to such levels for a cheap price. And I guess there is some truth behind that. The basic idea of Armata is there, but it can't be compared to the actual Armata. The vehicle lacks any form of active protection system. There is no mention of even the laser warning receivers, yet alone a hard kill system. I mean, not like Ukraine would have been able to afford mounting it on all vehicles. Also, if the crew is all located in the hull, I don't really see a reason for the shield around the remotely operated heavy machine gun. And there even appears to be a hatch there. Speaking of hatches, based on those diagrams, both from the patent and the published 3D ones, I can't really seem to find a turret service hatch. Maybe it is supposed to be under the ERA, or maybe the hatch in the back is for a man to enter in order to access the turret's inside. I don't really know, I'm just guessing. Anyway, like all great things from Ukraine, this project went nowhere. Some like to assume how the vehicle nicknamed Azov is a child of this project, but while it may seem like the basis is similar, they are actually nothing alike. I might do a video on Azov separately if there is enough interest. That would be all. If you like my content, you can consider supporting me on Patreon, and if you can't, leave a like on the video or subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day.